This is live from the Backroom. I'm Remington Ricketts. Today's special guest, Dallas Stump. Dallas, thank you so much for making the journey and the trip here. We're sure glad to have you here.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
So for those who may not have heard of Dallas Stump yet, who is Dallas and how did you get here?
I am Dallas. That's the best way I can put it. How I got here to the studio or how I got here to the music whole scene.
Well, we were talking a little bit beforehand about you making basically a 10-year process or a 10-year journey to the music industry. And so just a little bit about your music background and how you got here today.
Yeah, it kind of, like I said earlier, it kind of happened on accident. You know, I really wasn't really pursuing it early on. It was just kind of something that was always there. I was always loved music. My mom and dad loved all kinds of music. I grew up listening to music. My family owned a dairy in the milk barn as a small child, listening to all the 90s legends on the radio. So that kind of developed my taste in music. And then as I got out of high school, I didn't even know how to play guitar when I was in school. And got out of school, met this guy that played guitar, thought it was cool, got a guitar. My dad had a guitar in the closet that had never been strung, that he'd had for like 20 years, didn't even know if it was going to be worth stringing it for. And I learned on it. Spent a winter in my apartment learned on YouTube. So.
And we were talking about the process behind the guitar learning itself, because for someone like me, I've been inspired by all these live music artists, and I was like, well, I'm going to go out and I'll try to learn. So I got myself a keyboard, and I've been trying to learn keys and chords on the keyboard, but it just seems impossible. So for you, was that just an easy process? Is it something that you enjoyed so much that you just wanted to keep doing? Or was it, I'm tired of this and I just want to...
Oh, I quit 100 times before I ever actually started. You know, that's what I tell people. And that's the way it is, especially, like I said, I started at 19. I was learning on YouTube from a guy, Marty Schwartz, got a YouTube channel called Marty Music. And that's where I learned. And it was like... I was learning, and I learned a few basic ones, and I thought, man, I'm really good at this. And then you learn some harder ones, and then you try to do bar chords early on, and you're like, I'm just done with this completely. I have no interest in this. And then you come back to it. And that's what I did. I just was like, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm working a job in my hometown. I just got out of high school. What else? You know, what could it hurt? So I just sat and learned. And yeah, it was a struggle to overcome it though. Sometimes it's like, sometimes you think you're doing really good, and then you watch a video of an 8-year-old online doing something, and then you want to smash it out on the front sidewalk, you know?
and we were talking beforehand a bit about Nashville and your roots to the Nashville scene, and that's a big country scene. So
yes, it is. Yeah, I got out there actually just last year for the first time. Started working in town, and it blew my mind. Like, you know, I was playing music back home and traveling around and playing music in a few different states, and I thought, man, this is cool. I've got it figured out. And then you show up in Nashville, and then you get around a bunch of people who are the same person you are from their hometown, and then you're all there together. So then you're, it's an eye-opening experience when you get there. It's a whole different ball game, and it's very cool. But yeah, I was very, like I said, I listened to a lot of those guys that come out of Nashville in the 90s. So it just kind of made sense at the time, you know.
And you're from Missouri.
I am.
And first time down here in Lubbock.
Yep.
And playing at the Blue Light. Talk about your experience for the weather here and
it's
the
great.
Different climate.
Yeah, it's great. It's way drier here than it is at home. Like, it's so humid back home, and it's starting to get pretty steamy. We've had a bunch of storms moving through, and I got in the car yesterday morning, and it was like 10 o'clock, and it was already like 84 and really humid. And then by the time I got across the Red River, I rolled the windows down. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. The climate, it's so good for my lungs. You know, I don't feel so, it's cool. Yeah.
Well, we're so glad to have you here in Lubbock, and sure hope to have you back here again.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your upcoming album.
Yes.
Can you go into details about that?
I can to an extent. We have it coming out this fall. We haven't for sure decided on a date. We've been kicking a couple around, but it's going to be a full-length album. We just dropped our first single on it. It's available everywhere on Spotify, Apple Music, and I believe, I think you guys said you're playing it on the radio here.
Yes, playing it on 106.1 Flip FM, Blue Collarville.
Blue Collarville, yeah, it's a cool song. I just wanted to take it back to the 90s. I didn't write the song, but I Corey Lee Barker wrote the song, and there's another one I can't for the life of me. Maybe just I'm under on the spot. I just can't remember his name, but when I heard it the first time, I was like, man, I love it. It wasn't exactly how you heard it the first time. It was a little different, but we turned it into, I was like, I want to take this and turn it into one of them boot stomp and honky tonk heaters from the 90s that you think about. And it was so funny because like my manager didn't want me to record it at first. He was like, I don't know, man. He's like, I like the words. He's like, I don't just know if that's you. And I just kept telling him like, dude, just listen to the song. Don't imagine it how it is now. We're going to do it differently. And the very first day in the studio, that was the one we started with. And I was in the vocal booth and I looked over and I could see him standing behind the mixing board, just snapping away. And I'm going, oh yeah, he's on board now. And now it's the one he's the most excited about. And it's great. It's fun. It was so fun doing it. And seeing the reaction, the people, the response so far for it has been awesome. So.
And that process for creating a song, I don't think a lot of people understand, kind of the process behind from recording to mixing to editing to all the different changes. Is that a process that you enjoyed yourself, or was it at times it kind of felt overwhelming?
So I wasn't in on a lot of the mastering and the processing of the whole track after the recording process. Like I went in and did the vocals. I'll tell you right now, the vocal work can be a bit monotonous at times, but I enjoy it. It's fun. But a song though the whole process of the song becoming what it is when you first hear it the first time on the work tape to what it becomes by the time you make it into a radio single, or just if you're just going to release it as a single on a streaming platform, it can take 8 or 10 different turns before you ever land on what it actually sounds like. And luckily for us, this one only took one turn. But it was the right one, and it was cool. It hit the nail on the head. The sound I was going for.
And I absolutely love that song. And
Thank you.
It's funny that that's the sound that you're going for, because as a listener you can hear that, and I can picture it playing in bars everywhere. And I feel like people can make line dances to a song like this. And
I got a video this morning, actually. My best friend's stepmom, she's in school back home, and a bunch of the girls in they had played on a Bluetooth speaker, and a bunch of the girls in her class were dancing to it. It's on my Instagram story. It's hilarious. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Instagram, if we wanted to check you out on social, how do we find you?
The Dallas Stump. I don't know why the is there. It was just at the time the only one that was available because apparently there's another Dallas Stump out there somewhere. Thank you for stealing my Instagram handle. But yeah, so the Dallas Stump across the board. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can find me on Spotify, just Dallas Stump, Apple Music, Amazon. Like you said, you guys are playing on the station. Touch tunes, stuff like that. You can listen to it everywhere. We're trying to get it everywhere.
Awesome. Once again, the single is Blue Collarville.
Blue Collarville, yes.
Dallas Stump. And we're playing it here on 106.1 Flip FM. We're live from the Backroom. And as we kind of transition now, I wanted to ask you about the album cover, or the single cover.
The single cover, yes.
Did you have any part in that? Or
we had a vision, well, it's like I said about how a single can start as a vision, or it started something and change. So we originally had a vision. It was going to be like a small town water tower scene, and then we kind of moved it into they're going to be playing these like these little honky tonk bars, and I'm not saying that the bar on the cover is the exact bar, but it's very resemblant of the bar I got my start in. So that was kind of the idea behind it. So yeah.
And I love seeing the kind of Easter eggs like that are kind of planted in there.
Yes.
So I mean, if you don't know that backstory of that's kind of where you got your start.
Yes.
So that's an awesome story.
Yeah. Do you? It was kind of funny. That's how that whole thing happened.
And as far as your music career, you do live performances. Like I said, you're doing a blue light performance
this evening.
Yeah. Are you planning on venturing out and doing more live shows? Do you like the live show scene?
I play live shows. Live shows are my bread and butter. So I've for the last couple of years, I've been playing live shows on the road. The year before last, I played like 160 on the road, and last year I played almost 200 on the road. So I've been beating the road to death. I mean, I am no stranger to the hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Me and my manager were just talking this morning, and he asked me what kind of hotel I was staying in, and he knew exactly what the room looked like based off of the hotel that it was.
So y'all have been accustomed to hotels.
Yeah, I smell like hotel soap and shampoo a lot of the time.
Well, as we kind of get to know Dallas Stump more, where do you see yourself in 5-10 years? Do you want to continue making music? Do you want this to go as long as it can?
Dude, I hope. I don't want to get anywhere too quick. I feel like the part of the trip is the journey to where you're getting, and I feel like that journey is a peak. And sometimes the faster you get to the top, the faster you roll down the back. So I'm just trying. I mean, in the next 5 to 10 years, who's to say? I want to be happy. I can tell you that, and music makes me happy. Doing this makes me happy. So hopefully, yeah. I mean, if I can be doing this in 30 years from now, that's what I'll be doing. But, we'll see.
I love that answer. That's such a great answer because it shows that you are someone who enjoys the music and is in it for the music because that makes you happy.
Yeah.
And as an audience member, as someone who enjoys your music, that's what you want to hear. So
yeah, like I said, up until a few years ago, I thought all I was going to do was hunt and feed cows for the rest of my life. So the fact that I'm even doing what I'm doing now, every day is an adventure. Every day is a new story to add to the book. So it's cool. I love it.
You were talking a little bit beforehand as well about your high school buddies and those that you graduated with, kind of seeing you as a rising celebrity.
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you like that? Do you like the following, the gathering? I mean, the more people, the better, or is it something that you like to just kind of focus on a certain group?
Honestly, I like it. Like at my live shows, I like it when the crowd's into it, so it helps. But like when I get off the stage, I don't want to be Dallas Stump. I just want to be Dallas, So when I come off, and sometimes, and I'm not saying it's a lot, but I've noticed to an extent that people have been treating me like I'm a little bit different than I used to be. Like maybe I'm not as approachable, or maybe I'm something more than I used to, and that's not it. I'm still just me. I'm like, I tell my friends all the time, it's like I love music. Music's my life. I love to talk about music. I will sit and talk about music all day. But sometimes I just want to have a beer and talk about hunting. And sometimes you gotta stress that to your friends and stuff like that. Like, hey, as much as we all know, I love to talk about Dallas because I do. Yeah, obviously, I'm playing music. You got to learn to. Sometimes you just don't want to talk about Dallas. Sometimes you want to talk about anything other than. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, they're not so bad, but it's still, they crack jokes. Yeah. I got a buddy back home who tells people I'm a semi-professional rapper. So shout out to Buddy if he's listening. Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, it's.
Well, will we ever see a Dallas Stump rap single?
Unlikely. Oh. Unlikely. Yeah, I'm pretty set on my sound.
Wow. Speaking of beer and hunting, what is your go-to beer?
Oh, Busch Light. Every day of the week. Yeah, that's just what it is. Mm-hmm. I don't. It's my go-to for every situation. If you want to go to the golf course, if I can talk, if you want to go to the golf course with the boys and slam a beer a hole and have fun, you can do it and not feel bad. If you just want to casually drink a few at the boys' home one night during the week, you can do it. It's great. It's across the board. Yeah.
I am a Busch Light fan. There's certain beers that I can't drink, right. I mean, more than two of.
I will cheat on Busch Light. I've got a few others that I indulge in.
I won't tell.
Yeah. That's thank you.
Your secret's safe with me.
Yeah. It just depends. I got some that are better with meals. Mm-hmm. I like beer. Right. So it's like I'm not just let's just drink beer to drink me. Don't get me wrong. I will just drink beer to drink beer. Let's get that straight. But that's not my motive all the time. Sometimes you just want to sit down and have a good beer. Right. But I am the guy that will go to a craft brewery and intentionally ask the guy at the bar, "You guys got anything good like Busch Light?" And they don't welcome that very well sometimes, and they don't like that at wineries either.
Well,
yeah.
If you're, I am someone who's lived in Texas my whole life, grew up around agriculture, grew up with people that I knew hunted, but I've only been on one hunt my whole life, and I've
Oh,
never got anything. So what's your go-to hunt? Is there something that you like to hunt specifically,
Oh,
or
yes.
or what's in the Missouri region? I'm not. I'm
So we have
unfamiliar.
whitetail deer, turkey, quail. There aren't really any pheasant. There's a game preserve close to my house that they have European style hunts, and sometimes they get off, and so you'll see them. But it's there's a lot of coon hunters, a lot of coyote hunters. Fishing's a big thing where I come from. I live in the Ozark. I can't say right in the middle. I live right on the edge of the Ozark Mountains. So clear water, cold streams, spring fed, hardwood timbers, thick as you can see. But that's on the east side of me. Now on the west side, it looks like Kansas. So I mean, it really does. It's just flat farmland. So I kind of grew up I had the best of both worlds. I grew up like I can go out and see as far as I want to and drive in a straight line and not have to worry about running into anything, or I can go over here and take these. But yeah, no, turkey hunting is my go-to. Turkey season is still going on back home. I didn't get as much hunting as I would have liked to have. I took off this most of April. It was my 30th birthday. So yeah, I'm all out of twos, man. I got it now, So I wanted to hunt, but lo and behold, late April, turkey season, thunder, lightning, storms every morning, lasting all day. So I got one bird. I didn't tag out this year. I only got one. So, but I love it. It's my favorite. It's so much fun.
Well, if you're ever in the area and ever looking to go on a hunt, I know a few guys, and we can meet up and you can show me the ways of the hunt.
Hey
So,
man, I would love to. I'm kind of getting to the point now where I'm like, as far as I go out of my home and I'm meeting new people in new states. I didn't even think of it. A buddy of mine was like, dude, you ought to be trying to make friends for hunting ground. And I'm going, why didn't I think, like 21-year-old me would have thought of that immediately. Mm-hmm. But 30-year-old me is like, oh, career oriented, yeah.
Yeah, just because you turn 30 doesn't mean you can't still go out and have fun with the hunts.
Yeah, you're right. That's the truth,
Well, Dallas, we sure do appreciate having you here live from the back room. It's been awesome getting to know you, getting to hear from you.
Thanks for having me.
Once again, if you wanted to check you out on social media, it's at the Dallas Stump across all social media platforms, and Dallas Stump on Spotify and anywhere else that you can stream
Anywhere
music.
your music.
Awesome. Dallas, once again, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you guys for having me so much. It's been great.
Once again, check out Dallas Stump. This is Remington Ricketts, and this is Live from the Back Room.